Hey guys, this is John Kalam from Kohol Garage, and this is a different video this time because this is a bunch of gear that I have acquired over the past several months, scrimping, looking for the best deals. I am getting back into a little bit of serious photography. A bit of my background, back in 2014, I started my stint in covering motorsport events, taking pictures and writing about what transpired in motorsport events. And I used to work for a motorsport website called Time Attack Manila. Due to that engagement, I was introduced by a little bit of necessity to learn a little bit about photography. So I used to be a motorsport photographer for about 5 years professionally. I took a break from it, and now it's 2025 and I'm looking to dive into my love and passion for motorsports, and yet but still be there and absorb the atmosphere. So my plan for now is to dive deep back into photography for fun and profit. So, all of these gears were acquired secondhand. I could have gone for an R50, but I could not stomach the notion that I couldn't fathom spending so much money on acquiring that particular body as of this juncture of my financial status, no? But I decided to go fully secondhand with older tech, so to speak. I was a Canon user. I did much of my professional career with the 60D, the 18 to 55 IS2 kit lens, and a 55 to 250 version of that kit lens as well, that I used for 5 years in my work. So I gave it all for use to my kid sister who's into photography now, currently enjoying the 60D and learning much about photography. Now, as I reacquaint myself with photography, I decided I don't want to go so far from what I am used to. So I decided to get as later an evolution of the semi-pro DSLR series of Canon as I could get. The dream body would have been the 90D, but I got a good deal on a reasonably good condition EOS 80D body. So this is the 80D body over here. As you can see, it is a little bit scuffed. It is not in the absolute best condition. It is well worn, well used, with missing rubber grommets. It is a fully functional camera and it still shoots absolutely fantastic, especially paired with all these primes on the right. So all these lenses came second hand. I do have here the latest EFS 18 to 55 STM model. I think this is the STM. Yeah, this is the IS STM. Freshly serviced, freshly cleaned. When I got this had a ton of fungus inside. So I had it professionally cleaned. So it's a quiet zoom, but functionally similar to my old IS2. So this serves as my backup lens in case either one of these primes have a problem. I haven't really brought this yet to a motorsport event because this is just a backup. So it's just gonna be here as part of the gear, but I don't think I will use this much. I hope I don't use this much because coming soon, I have acquired an 18 to 135 version of this EFS zoom lens. So hopefully that would be my walk around motorsport lens, because from what I notice, especially with my latest foray into photography, an 18 to 135 is the only lens I need, especially if I just need to take on bright daylight on even and cloudy days. So I can't wait to receive it once it arrives. That should be my primary walk-around lens for almost all applications. But I've also taken the opportunity to acquire some prime lenses from some decent older primes from Canon. So the most useful one, to be very frank with you guys, it's not the 50mm. Okay, it's not the nifty 50. For these APS-C sensors, I think this is the killer prime. This is the most useful prime. Okay, this is the 35mm f2, freshly serviced. This had a faulty autofocus, I think, so I had this serviced. Okay, so this is good as new. It's not a new lens. This is very useful for the APS-C. This is basically the 50mm equivalent. The 35mm is good for general use photography. So this is also not good for tight spaces, but if you have some open room, you can always zoom with your feet. This has a very good perspective, very similar to what a 50mm would do with a full frame. But I'm using APS-C, so 35mm is the proper lens for the APS-C sensor. The 50mm, the Nifty 50, this is also a pretty good lens. But actually, I used it actually as my zoom lens, so to speak, in motorsport when I spectated the Mazda Fan Festa the other day. This was the lens that I used to take action shots. If you are right beside the pit wall, the 50mm is plenty good enough to capture shots. So hopefully this lens I would be able to use when I cover rally again in the near future. So this will be part of my stable of lenses to bring for motorsport use for action shots. I actually have one super zoom that's not pictured here. It's under repair. A Tamron 18-270. So the autofocus of that broke, and so it's being repaired. One lens that surprisingly that I thought that I needed the most, and yet I'm not able to really maximize it, is the 20mm. This is a very fantastic. If this was a full frame, this is going to be an ultra wide, but since I have an APS-C, it's just the lower end of my EFS over there. Surprisingly, not much use. I really believe in what Ken Rockwell said, that the more that you deviate beyond 50mm for full frame equivalent focal lengths, the more useless it becomes, the more specialized it becomes, special purpose it becomes. So this 20mm prime is very useful when you are close up, but doing my walk around, I barely use the 20mm during the Mazda Fan Festa. And it's not that fast. It is f2.8 as compared to the 1.8 50 and the f2 35mm. So it's not that fast of a lens, but it does take exquisite photos. And when I acquired it, it was in very good condition. So this is unserviced locally. Okay, but it is a beautiful lens. It is gonna be part of the collection, or maybe I sell it off and maybe acquire an EFS 24mm Pancake Prime. There are some other gears here on the side. There's one more lens here that's not compatible with this body. Okay, I have one EFM lens. My plan actually for this one is to be able to acquire an M6 Mark II. But on the second-hand market, it's not very common to find an M6 Mark II for some reason in the Philippines. I think I have to go to Green Hills and shop. But I don't really have the money to walk around and go on a buying trip for that one. So obviously looking for the best possible deal for the M6 Mark II. Part of my strategy is to have two bodies. I kind of want one body that I could use as a backup, a small backup, and having a primary big DSLR or relatively big DSLR. So part of my strategy was to invest in EFM. Unfortunately, the EFM is a dead system. So my assumption is that since it's a dead system, equipping myself with EFM bodies and EFM lenses would be supposedly cheaper, but it did not work out that way. Or it's not working out that way because the M6 Mark II is very expensive. But this one was, I haven't actually tested this lens yet. When I first went back into photography, very recently, I basically rented an M50 Mark II. So I bought an adapter, this mount adapter, to mount the EF lenses, because what I invested first of all was the Super Zoom, the Tamron Super Zoom 18-270, and then I bought this mount adapter. And then later on, I bought this Vitrox Speed Booster I haven't tested it. It has a little bit of fungus, but very minimal, so I think it's still pretty good for some casual and a bit of motorsports work at low light. However, I was not yet able to acquire an appropriate body. I'm actually tempted to buy a Sony body and just adapt my Canon lenses. Canon lenses on the second-hand market, the EF mounts, are not that expensive as compared to buying the native Sony lenses brand new. I was very shocked at the prices of those lenses. It's like I could swap the value of my car for some of the good lenses that I recently tried. Also in the Mazda Fan Festa, I attended a seminar that was facilitated by my good friend Matthew Romualdez, Math RZ Photography, and I learned a lot from him about being a professional and how to handle your gear. He's a Sony user, so I might go back to that one. What's not here is the 18 to 270mm Tamron that is under service. I acquired the 18 to 135 EFS Canon lens. I have acquired a 135mm prime soft zoom. And I have acquired my first L lens, the 100 to 300 5.6L. So that's pretty much my photography gear, and it's very surprising that I haven't used this yet to take videos. I've had this for about a couple of months, this body, and I haven't used it to vlog. So I don't have a strategy for vlogging, and I find a DSLR heavy to hold on a selfie type of thing, but the 80D is way capable of that one because it has this flip screen function over here. So I could definitely use this as a selfie camera, but it's not that heavy. But I have to pair it with some sort of pancake, some sort of prime. It's unwieldy to vlog using this 20. It's too long. So I may invest in a 24 if I find a good deal on a 24 for vlogging. But if I do have the M6 Mark II, that should be the vlogging camera, and I'll just always pair it with this 22. So that's gonna be the strategy now and moving forward. If I were going to go for a full prime implement, I really would like to try out the 85. I don't have an 85 yet, but I have a 135 coming in that needs servicing, needs cleaning. So hopefully the 135 should be plenty enough length for this crop sensor. But then again, I got a good deal on my first L. So I don't know what would really win out. I hope you enjoyed this view of what I have been able to acquire, as good a deal as possible and as cheap as possible, and a bunch of gears that really, even though they're old, they're not the latest thing. Apparently, the 80D is like an 8 to 10-year-old body already. But it actually takes as good or if not better shots than my old 60D, which was an even older body. And it still works till this day with my kid sister in the past. And hopefully moving forward in the future. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope to use this gear for future videos eventually.